bit, we can get a little overview of what Serenity Capital is. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started. Be awesome.
Yeah, so Serenity Capital, the inception of Serenity Capital basically was to give people an opportunity to get some good yields, sustainable yields, without the quick lifespan or the crazy ups and downs that people are used to in DeFi. So our focus on Serenity Capital has just been about creating a relaxing, stable environment for our investors. So um, we wanted to stick with what we think is going to be one of the uh, biggest blue chips in the future. So and that would be Ethereum. So we've tied ourselves with Ethereum. We've done very well with that, and we've implemented a lot of different unique features in Serenity Capital that we think has really provided some of that stability and sustainability for us for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, what is your background, and then how did you kind of get started in the crypto space and want to create your own project?
Yeah, so I've been running my own business for probably about 7 years now. Um, been a very business minded, business oriented. That's what I went to school for. Business administration and entrepreneurship. Uh, so just basically just focusing on running your own business from since I got out of high school. Uh, and while I was doing that, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that isn't gonna say I wasn't inspired by some of the meme coining in crypto. Um, so one of my first run ups was with Wall Street Bets, and it is what it is. I'm proud to say I made quite a bit of money on GME and AMC, and then traveled down the rabbit hole into DeFi. Got involved with a bunch of different projects, helping run communities and things of that nature. And unfortunately, hey, it's a pretty cruel world in DeFi. Got wrecked a bunch of times. I made some money sometimes, but I saw a need and a flaw in the way that this was being done. I saw it lacking just simple business minded drive. And so basically I saw where this model could just be, ran like a business and be successful. And so um, I decided to start my own project with that in mind and generating actual money for people versus it being a Ponzi. And yeah, that's why I decided to start Serenity.
Got it. Yeah, I like it. And as far as like you said, not those Ponzi nomics and actually generating revenue for people. What are your guys' revenue streams and that model to kind of counteract those Ponzi nomics compared to other projects that are essentially, like you said, a Ponzi scheme that don't
Yeah.
have any real revenue coming in?
Yeah. So we focused on a bunch of different things, right? So uh, we've got a few different revenue models. So we've got a merch shop that's selling merchandise, shirts, T-shirts, things of that nature for some of the top protocols in DeFi right now. We share some of that profit with them, obviously, for being able to use their branding and logos. Uh, Another one is we started out purchasing Bitcoin miners, using the Bitcoin rewards as well to uh, supplement the yields that we're paying out, as well as creating our own CEX trading bots that are, also generating revenue, feeding that back into the protocol, and also giving your tokens use cases from the very beginning. Simple stuff like even just having arcade games that have jackpot rewards, right? So. We created Serenity Invaders, which is our spin on Space Invaders. We've got Tetris that's going to be coming out here very shortly. We've got Street Fighter that's going to be coming out, which is like just kind of a PvP thing. Just simple things that I feel like a lot of protocols in the past didn't take the time to just implement instead of just waiting on uh, the next person to buy in so you could sell on them. That I think that's probably the biggest issue. So we we tried to generate as many things as we could right off of the jump.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely like that model. Actually having revenue coming in prior to even launch or
Mhm.
really getting going. And I was looking over your white paper just before this, and you guys already have a Bitcoin mining generating revenue for the protocol.
Yes,
Curious to
sir.
hear your thoughts and where you want to take that in the future, because that's, I think, the way that a lot of people are going is, doing those Bitcoin mining machines or other mining machines or trading bots. Yeah, curious to hear your thoughts on where you see that going.
Yeah, so our plan is to purchase at least 150 via our treasury. Um, we think that Bitcoin's price is going to appreciate very much here in the next few years, and that's what we built our protocol on. Is not a quick one and done. That it's going to be here for many many years to come. So our goal is to get us 150 Bitcoin miners. We've got our CX trading bots trading about 37 pairs right now, and we're actually also close to acquiring a uh, bot network that's actually being run for different hedge funds and things of that nature. So that will be a very large acquisition and a huge, huge uh, revenue stream because basically we'll be running those bots for other people, but we'll be able to take fees for that and just supplement that back into the protocol. So that'll be huge.
Yeah, definitely. Kurt, do you have anything to ask so far?
My only question is, so you mentioned you're going on to AVAX as well as you're already on
Hmm.
Ethereum, right?
Hmm.
Um, why those two chains in particular? I know ETH kind of gets a little bit of pushback just because of gas fees. Obviously, they've gotten way better here as recently, but why'd you pick those two? Just out of
Yeah.
curiosity.
So we launched on Phantom and then went to ETH. Uh, the reasoning behind Ethereum is we're pegged to Ethereum, right? I mean that it makes there's the most liquidity, the most money is on ETH, and so obviously being pegged and tied to ETH, we want to expose ourselves to that. It does get a bad rap for the gas fees and stuff like that. It's not as bad as it used to be, and I think that that's going to improve coming in the future. So we wanted to get exposure to all of our ETH maxis that are on the native ETH chain. Um, the move to AVAX, we feel like there's been some projects that have been very successful. Grape, Frozen Walrus, that have launched on AVAX, and so we believe we can follow up behind their success and do the same thing with our revised changed protocol model and things of that nature. We think I'm not going to down anybody, but your goal when you start out is to try to be more successful than the guy that came before you, and to learn from their mistakes and what they've done. Kobe didn't come out wanting to be. He wanted to be better than Jordan, and LeBron wanted to be better than Kobe and Jordan, and that's what you should do is to strive to be more successful than your predecessors. And so that's what we're going to try to do. And if we can even tap into a portion of their success, I think that we'll do very well.
Very sound reasoning for both of them. So love it.
Yeah, and then as far as I know this is a little backtracking a little, but as far as the treasury that is used to purchase those mining machines and those other income generating machines, where does that treasury get funded to then go and be able to purchase those things or develop different software?
So that treasury is funded from our sales of our NFTs, as well as our treasury is given share allocations that we're able to sell some of our shares so that we can continue to fund some of the different revenue streams, as well as doing pre-sales, things of that nature, doing private sales, OTCs. It's just kind of a wide range of how that treasury gets funded.
Got it. So a couple more questions then, as far as kind of like the back end of your protocol. What makes that different than other projects that are similar, like EMP, Grape? any of those sorts of projects, as well as then how did the NFTs tie into that aspect of the tomb style mechanic?
So I think that the biggest thing is that we have an inverse emission schedule. Um, so and so even though we may have used some of the tomb fork, some of the tomb code, we've changed so much with the way everything is set up that we don't really consider ourselves a tomb fork. But you know, unfortunately, we get kind of thrown into that category just because the code's similar. Um, but basically, you know, we started out with a very slow emission rate that actually cranks up over time versus every other model that you see starts out at its highest emission rate and then slowly drops down as more tokens are emitted. The reasoning behind that, like I said, is we wanted to uh, get away from any type of Ponzi-nomics. So starting out with very, very, very low emissions while we were getting our revenue generating streams up and going it's just the only right way to go about things. And so basically, the intent is as the revenue generation picks up, the boardroom and the jar actually will speed up as well. That way, that you know, basically those rewards will be supported, or I don't want to necessarily use the word collateralized, but you know that's what really separates us from everybody else. And as that emissions curve cranks up, it will eventually get to a peak and then start to slow back down. And you're able to, our token actually has a burn function on the contract. So you're actually able to go in and burn your peg tokens, and it would actually keep the emission rate high. So it's kind of a nice little gamification and a nice little way for people to, if they want to keep seeing some crazy high APRs, they can keep burning some of their money. It's kind of weird, but you know, it's worked out very well.
Gotcha. And we got Pi in chat. He asks, how would that be sustainable? Will it be cyclic? So once it reaches the peak and increases again, it can go up, or how is that going to look?
It basically looks like I can't back out of this and post an image because then I won't be able to talk anymore. Imagine a hill, right? Imagine a hill or a mountain. Yes, it can go back up. So you're slowly creeping up the hill as tokens are being emitted. Once it gets to a certain number of tokens, then it will start slowing back down. The reason it's sustainable is the only reason why it would stay higher is if you're burning tokens out of circulation, right? So, you know, you're not really creating it's kind of like a perfect loop, right? Eventually it will slow back down because at some point you will not be able to just outburn unless everybody just burned every token that they were given. It will eventually slow back down to a normal sustainable rate.
Got it. Okay. And yeah, that mechanic definitely is that you're doing something a little different and taking ideas from Tomb, but not necessarily forking the contract and mixing it
Hmm.
up a lot and changing it so it's your own thing. And I mean
Yeah.
that's why I was a little careful with my wording. A lot of people don't like being called forks, and that's understandable. And that's why I said like tomb style mechanics.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is if you see something not work, if you see something fail, why would you turn around and do the exact same thing? If you're I mean, some people might do it just because they want to make some money, but if you really want to build something successful, then you really want to build something that's going to make everyone money that's involved, not just a select few. Um, then you've got to do something different. You've got to go against the grain, and so I think that you know, we seeing us seeing how all of these projects that followed the same model fall and fail. Then you want to do like the exact opposite. I think that somebody made a funny joke in the circus is if you look at Jim Cramer, You actually, every one of his calls, if you go against what he says, you can actually be profitable just off of statistics, right? So if he's constantly making calls that are wrong, you should probably just bet against that. So
That's funny. It is.
he almost broke my heart yesterday because he told everybody to buy Ethereum. I'm like, what have you done? No, God, no.
Oh gosh, that's scary.
Yeah,
I'm shorting the market. You heard it here first.
he doing this all. Uh,
But yeah, it is pretty amazing to me how many people don't really do a lot different than models that haven't worked before. So I'm glad that you guys are doing something different because the amount of tomb forks that are out there or tomb style projects that don't do anything different than tomb. So I can rightfully call them a fork, but it's impressive how not in a good way though. Like we lost them.
You might be trying to post a picture or something.
Yeah.
He's
I
back.
accidentally clicked a notification and it took my mic.
It's all good. All good.
Awful.
Did we get Pi? He asks another question. How do the different tokens in your ecosystem support it and work in harmony?
Yeah, so Serene is our peg token, and the share token is called Pebble. So you will create LPs with Serene or Pebble to generate more Pebble. You can then take that Pebble share, stick it into the jar, and that will generate Serene when it's over a certain level, which would be TWAP 1.01 to ETH. And then you can either sell some of those rewards or make more LP to get more Pebble. So it's meant to be a nice cycle, a nice, yin and yang. And I think that the biggest thing is in order for that yin and yang system to work is you either need to take out that peg token faster than it's being emitted or give people a reason to do something with it other than just sell it, right? So that's basically it. And all of our tokens are multi-chain. So one thing that our model is not our model, but we're going to pretty much as many chains as we can get to. One thing that we're not making the mistake of doing is we're not creating more shares for any of these other chains. We feel like that would just create dilution. So our 10,000 shares is actually being spread out across every chain that we go to, which if anybody knows anything about business, supply and demand, if there's a very low supply, the demand is going to be astronomical because people want to get their hands on it. And a lot of times with a low supply, it creates more demand than just normal. You look at PlayStation 5, right? There's a lot of people that didn't even want to buy one until they realized they couldn't get one, right? That it's a mind thing. So all of our tokens are cross chain. You'll be able to take them anywhere that Serenity Capital is located and use them there.
So, are you planning on going farther than AVAX and ETH at this point?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're gonna go to BSC. We're gonna go to Arbitrum. We're gonna go to Optimism, Polygon. So you could potentially see like only 1,000 shares on any given network at a time. So yeah.
God, that's so cool.
We
Yeah.
want to give ourselves the opportunity to be exposed to as many investors as possible. Right now we were on Phantom. We feel like Phantom held us back a little bit because there's a lot of people that when Andre left and Phantom price kind of just dropped really hard. There's a lot of people that just don't want to move their money to that network, that chain. So there's a lot of people that just have the chains that they want to stay on, and so if they don't come to you, sometimes you need to go to them. And so we're gonna try to get ourselves in front of as many investors as we can without diluting our product.
Yeah, no, I love it. I suppose my next question is gonna be, I'm like, are you worried that there's gonna be people who there's one person that's on Polygon and everyone else is on AVAX, or Does any of that kind of affect your ecosystem as a whole?
No, not at all. We definitely will not just like if only one person is on Polygon. For one thing that we're going to do is put up our next chains up for governance vote, let our Pebble holders vote on which chains we go to. But we're very smart with how we watch things. We actually have something that's very unique. We have the opportunity. Most of the time, protocols are not able to boost or increase the APRs for their farms because when they first start out, they have everything allocated, and then at that point, you can do nothing but kind of just move stuff back and forth. But we have the unique opportunity to boost everything at one time because we only allocated a small percentage to the farms to be able to pay out the rewards because we didn't want to start it out at 10, 15, 20% daily interest, daily return, because that's not realistic. Like that's impossible. Even 1% daily is really, 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 really good. And people don't understand that. So what we've implemented is called turbo mode. And so each one of our chains, basically the end goal is every day, one of the chains will get a turbo mode boost. So for a couple hours, between 3 and 6 hours, we will crank the APRs up like 5x, right? And we feel like that will give people incentive to create liquidity on some chains and maybe introduce some people to some chains that they have not used before. Um, but that will give people a reason to kind of spread their assets a little bit. That way, one chain doesn't become too top heavy. So.
Get that. Are you going to try to incentivize people? Let's say like you're slacking on Polygon, compared to all the other chains that you're currently a part of. Would you want to almost increase the boost level on that to kind of incentivize people to jump over to that chain by any stretch, or is that kind of something that you're not looking into as much?
Well, it just depends. We want the liquidity creation to be pretty organic. We don't want to like just force it. Um, so we obviously we'll be very strategic and monitor. If we feel like we need to do something to incentivize a certain chain or something like that, we will. Um, but it's not a huge deal. Like I said, we want it to grow naturally and organically. Phantom liquidity started out at like 20 grand, and we're at like 300,000. And that's just happened organically over time. And we think that people with uh, the turbo mode itself will do that. But if we need to do something like that, that's definitely something that we would keep on the table for sure.
Love it, love it. Yeah, I just didn't know if you were planning on doing like a range, like you said 3 to 5. So you'd announce that you're going to be doing 5 tomorrow on whatever chain's slacking, or if
Hmm.
you're planning on doing it kind of in a cycle, or if it's
Yeah.
going to be sporadic and random. So
Yeah,
no, love
it,
what you
it
guys are
it
doing.
should be on a cycle. I think that doing it on a cycle, like so, if we're on 7 chains, I would love to be able to do just a different chain every day. Um,
Yeah.
so we'll see how it goes. We're going to be very strategic and meticulous with the way that we do it. We don't want to overexpose ourselves or um, set ourselves up to do anything that would be uh, non-beneficial to the protocol. So we'll start off slow and smart. I'm always somebody that would rather creep up to it versus do too much up front and have to try to take it back. I would rather ease up to it.
No, 100%. Being cautious is always a good step when educating yourself on stuff.
Yeah,
So
because we're doing a lot that nobody's done, so we kind of have to be our own control, right? We've
yeah,
got to we got to test the waters a little bit.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, we got a couple questions in chat that ask about the revenue streams again. So I think for people that joined in a little late, or even if you just want to go over those again, because I think that is one of the most crucial parts of your ecosystem is that outside revenue that's coming in and actually providing value to the project. So I want to give a quick rundown of those real quick again, and then kind of how you guys are providing value to the DeFi space.
Yeah, so before we even started the protocol, like I said, we started the DeFi merch shop. that basically offers merchandise for all the top protocols. We share some of that profit with them. We feed that profit back into the protocol itself. We've been purchasing Bitcoin miners, ASIC miners, and using those Bitcoin rewards to also feed back into the protocol. Every bit of our revenue is used to either create more revenue or to sustain the project. We've created CEX bots that are trading on Binance. That's using 37 pairs, which is a lot. I don't know if anybody here even knows about how many pairs that is for a bot to be trading at one time. But that's a lot. So that's something that took us a long time to build. We're also about to acquire a CEX bot like trading platform that's been running for different hedge funds. And so we'll basically just run those bots and create bots for those billion-dollar hedge funds, and then just take a fee off of that. So, us having a couple $100,000 trading is great. But if you're able to take a fee on a couple million, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And and so we'll continue to do NFTs and things of that nature, and just continue to do everything possible that you can do to earn money and actually earn money without taking it from somebody else. And anything I can do to not be a Ponzi. I mean, I'll sell cheese. If cheese is profitable, we'll sell cheese. Whatever can be done that is profitable, that those profits can be funded back into the protocol. That's what we're going to do, because that's what people need is real yields, not selling a fake dream that if you invest here, you can get 1% daily is 365% in a year. You can't find any investment fund, anything that can guarantee those returns, right? And what we want to do is create such a money making machine that we can guarantee that you can sell every bit of your rewards, and the protocol will be able to support that. And so that's the end goal. And we
Gotcha.
think that's a value that DeFi has not had. I've seen some of these protocols have millions of dollars and doing nothing with it. And I'm like, you give me that, you give me a couple $1,000,000, I'll show you what you can do to make some money, not just waiting on somebody else to buy. So
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Olympus, 300 some
yeah,
million in their treasury, but it's in stables.
Jesus.
Yeah, Austin says bullish on Gouda cheese.
Yeah.
Look, dude, Serenity good are coming to you.
All right, I'll help you get it out there for you if you come out
Thank
with
you, man.
Serenity Gouda.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
Trademarking it right now. I'm gonna start putting out paperwork.
we'll do a taste testing event or something like that. That'd be
There you
fun.
go. Yeah, yeah.
While we're on
Austin,
the topic,
oh, sorry,
sorry,
go ahead,
Zach.
Kurt.
While we're on the topic of treasury and stuff, I know that we kind of went over the Bitcoin farming. Right now, I was scrolling through your white paper. Right now, you said you have one miner. Are you planning on expanding that with more NFTs that you sell? And then in the future, you said you're planning on doing more NFTs. Are you going to branch off into other types of farming, whether that's actual miners or if you're doing anything with like validator nodes or anything like that?
Validator nodes is something that we've considered. Yes, so we plan on purchasing 150 ASIC miners from the treasury. Um, so the NFT purchases are used for purchasing Bitcoin miners, as well as the treasury itself is purchasing Bitcoin miners as well. NFT holders, if you buy an NFT, you're actually airdropped Bitcoin for the life of that NFT, whether or not you're involved with the protocol or not. So that itself on its own is its own little mini business model. But we as a team see the benefit and the revenue that can come from miners themselves. So we're also investing in those for the treasury.
Got it.
We got another question from, I think you pronounce it Ozaz. Ozaz. Um, yeah. So, do you see any way that this yin and yang system can crash, or the peg can go below one?
Absolutely. I think that you've seen that in other protocols where they didn't properly map out their tokenomics, and that's really the issue, right? You look at some people are talking about these stable coins depegging, right? That's because there's not a, you've got to take your time and you've got to do the hard thing, right? Which is spending months and months and months planning prior to launching. So can a yin and yang, can our model fail? Sure, it can. Anything can fail. The likelihood of it failing is slim to none because we spent so many months into mapping out exactly, 6 months from now, how much money, if everybody sold every dollar or every token they had, we know how much money we would need to support the project at that moment in time. And I think that that's just doing your due diligence when you've got people investing in you and you don't just take the time to simply, map out a couple months worth of Excel spreadsheets. That's what you need to do if you're going to expect people to trust you with their investment. And that's something that I don't take very lightly. Like people aren't just investing in the Serenity Capital name; they're investing in me, and they're trusting that the person leading the ship is putting in the time and the work. So any model can fail. It just depends on the leader or the people that are behind it. If you don't have a good team behind it, even the greatest ideas will fail. Um, so
Yeah.
While on the topic of team members, can kind of give us a rundown on who else on your team? I know I think there's 5 on your white paper for core team.
it's a little bit bigger than that, but so we have Heckman. He's our lead developer. He's been developing, I mean, for 20 years. Insane developer. Really, really good. We've got Mr. James. He's also one of our developers. He's really good. He's been developing for I want to say about 10 years. Cool McCool. He's another one of our developers. He's in lead. He's lead of engineering the games. He's does a lot of amazing things with Web3 and Unity, things of that nature. We've got Ergo. He's one of our technical and analyzers. That's what he does. He actually does that professionally. So I can't like dox him, but he actually works for pretty big companies doing technical analysis and things of that nature, and doing $100 million capital raises, and he's part of the team that helped build the bots, the trading bots. Maverick, he's also a professional technical analyst that just is very good at what they do. Tatooine Ducky, um, he's kind of like a jack of all trades, good at community management, strategy, uh, working on docs, just kind of like I said, a jack of all trade. We've got Life Eternal. He's one of our newest team members. He's really, really good. He's basically become kind of like an extension of myself, kind of being a catch-all. I kind of do everything. And so he's come on board, and he's very well versed in pretty much all aspects of what we do here. So he's been a great addition as well. And that's one thing and that's a very big team, right?
Oh yeah.
I named a lot of people, and that's when I started putting this together, is I did not want to feel like the smartest guy in the room, right? And at the end of the day, like I still feel, like you've got to, if you surround yourself, there's a saying, if you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you'll be the sixth. If you surround yourself with 5 bums, you'll be the sixth, right? And
Yep.
so I wanted to surround myself with as many people that were well versed in different aspects of what we do, so that we could create an altogether successful machine. So instead of just trying to keep the glory for me and one or two other people, I would rather spread it out, and have, we've got like 7, 8 people on our core team, and you look at some of these bigger projects, and it's only like 3. Some of them only have one dev. We've got 4 devs. right? And that's something that I think is really one of our advantages is that we started out with such a large team, and we've got a lot of different people from different fields that can add insight. We don't always agree with each other, and I think that that's one of the greatest benefits is being able to learn, why this may work or why this might not work. Ergo and math, they do their TA completely different from each other, but they use both of their strategies in our trading bot, right? That has made that trading bot so much more effective and profitable by having two different mindsets that are both. I mean, they both have incredible win rates on the way that they do their TA, um, and so I think that that's just it's really cool. So,
Agreed. Well, it sounds like you have a really good team behind you and standing side by side with you, I should say, because
yeah,
um, no, I like it. I was at the beginning of this, I was wondering how you're able to do so many avenues when you're doing trading bots, games. You're doing a whole like jumping from different chains, everything. But with a team like that, it makes a lot more sense. So
yep, absolutely,
Yeah, a smart man knows everything. Wise man knows that he doesn't know it. Surrounds himself with people that do.
absolutely, exactly.
Like it. We got another question from Osaz. He says he saw on the white paper something about GameFi games. Talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, so that's basically like I said, we've created Serenity Invaders, we've created Tetris. The game is done. We're just doing the Web3 integration now. So we've started out doing kind of like some of these small arcade games because everybody likes playing games. But we eventually plan on doing something a little bit more in depth, RPG style. Uh, that people will be able to use their Serene tokens to buy certain in-game items and things like that. You basically need to create a product that people want to use and play, and then give them some tokens to do it. Imagine if something as simple as Fortnite was a Tomb Fork under the hood. All of the money that those kids spend on those tokens just for a different outfit, right? So that's kind of the mindset is building something that people want, and then you can just attach your tokens to it.
Got it. Do you have anything in the works right now as far as that goes, or is that kind of more in the idea stage right now?
No, we have some stuff in the works, absolutely.
Anything you're able to share, or is this top secret
Yeah,
information?
it is top secret information. I actually I will say that I have been in contact with a couple different gaming platforms to have our tokens used as their in-game currency. Um, and just do a profit share on that. Nothing is confirmed, but I have been doing that.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Some spicy alpha. Oh, I like it.
Mhm.
All right. We got another question in chat. This guy's questions crack me up. He's very blunt, so just a heads up. He says,
Okay.
"Where in the hell are you gonna acquire 150 ASIC miners? There's such a backlog in demand. Prices are through the roof. How is that going to be managed? Please elaborate."
Bitcoin miners are actually the cheapest that they've been in a very long time. So you can buy a miner for about $4,500 from Compass, and they've got um, a ridiculous amount of supply. So I would say you may be thinking about the price of miners back when Bitcoin was, in the $40,000-$50,000 range. But miners right now are the cheapest that they've been in a very, very long time. So you can get a miner like we paid like $4,700 for our S19 Pro miner. So and that's what we're doing is we're using a full service hosting facility so that we don't have to worry about it. We just pay the electrical and maintenance fees, and then just reap the rewards.
and I just put the Compass Minting website in the AMA questions if anyone wants to go ahead and look at that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, if anybody in here wants to get into mining, you can definitely check that out, or you can buy one of our NFTs and we'll handle it from for you, and you can just get airdropped.
Yeah, well, speaking of those NFTs, let's get into it. I don't think we've touched up on exactly what those are for yet.
Yeah. So our NFT collection, the first phase is 500 NFTs. They've got a couple different use cases or utilities to them. One, obviously, I've already hinted on, is the Bitcoin mining rewards. Now, those NFTs are also going to give you access to higher yield farms on the protocol itself. A non NFT holder will have, maybe 1% daily. An NFT holder is going to have access to a higher yielding farm than that. We don't have like a specific number or how much higher it will be, because obviously we have to be very observant in the health of the protocol. So we can't just like say, oh, it's going to be double and then stick to that. So we're just saying that it is going to be higher. Guaranteed that that will be a higher yield, but how high that yield is basically determined on, you have some people that are buying NFTs that aren't planning on investing in the protocol. They just want to get Bitcoin airdropped, and that's fine. But we want to give something special for the people that decide to buy an NFT and are invested in the protocol. Um, we do have certain events, certain different giveaways and things like that that will be for NFT holders as well. They get a special role in our Discord, basically VIP access to all of the different things that Serenity is doing.
Got it. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Is there anything else on the project side that we haven't covered yet? Like any interesting mechanics or things on the roadmap that you want to touch up on?
Um. Well, we haven't talked about PAMP. So PAMP is called, that is our Pebble augmentation meta pathway. Basically, we created an oracle for our share token. We are the first to ever do such a thing. Um, Now, our Pebble token at certain levels of TWAP will unlock rebates that you basically will be able to purchase Pebble, a limited amount of Pebble at a 10% discount. And at certain intervals in between those tiers, nodes are unlocked for our NFT holders. Those are exclusive for NFT holders. Nodes can be something that are pretty cool, but they can also become very malicious and very detrimental to a project. So we will only have a limited number. They will only be for NFT holders, and we will only create as many as the protocol itself can support, because nodes can become the ultimate Ponzi. If you put out so many, you're basically relying on more people noding so that you can continue to get your rewards. We will put out a very limited number of those nodes, and we will pay those nodes out with the treasury and team allocations for the peg token and the share token. So they will be Serene and Pebble nodes, and we're only going to put out, like I said, a limited number of those. And I think that's about it.
Okay, gotcha. You guys have a lot going on, a lot of different mechanics for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting, very interesting. Do you guys have like a long term vision or goal or outlook, say like 1 year, 3 year, 5 years down the line that you are aspiring to get to?
Yeah. Um, my aspiration, my goal, my vision from the inception of Serenity Capital is that it would be a self-sustaining ecosystem, no Ponzi-nomics involved, uh, and that people can simply have something real that they can generate extra money. All of us that are investing in DeFi, I'm not a whale, I'm not rich, and it is what it is. I want to be able to make people extra money. A lot of us work real jobs, and we're in this space to make a little extra money to get some of the things that we aren't able to obtain just working our normal jobs. And so, I've got my own business. I have been very successful in my business and in my business ventures. But I still consider myself a normal working man. I'm not living on some mansion and I'm not driving a Ferrari. I've got a $20,000 Cadillac and I am proud as shit of my Cadillac. I've had it for 10 years almost, right? And that to me feels like something that I've achieved. And so my long-term goal is basically to uh, have it self-sustaining to where you can put in your money and sell every single day and not worry about the protocol failing or the protocol going down because the protocol is generating enough money to support what it's paying out. And so that's my goal. I think that we've come very, very close to that. Starting out very slow, you obviously are overlooked by many, and we're okay with that because we launched into the bear market. I mean, people don't realize we've been running since May 6th, almost 4 months. That is insane for a protocol. And I think that that's because we were overlooked, and so we were able to control our circulating supply, control our protocol, control people's investments to where no matter what, people make money. And so that's my goal is no matter when somebody gets in, at the end of the day, everybody will make money. And I'm going to keep doing it till uh, I achieve that. And so I don't think that that's 5 years down the road. I don't think that's 3 years down the road. And I don't think that's a year down the road. I think that we're going to achieve that and get to that level of sustainability in the next couple months to where basically anybody can just come in and sell. And it just is what it is.
Okay, gotcha. I like that. No, that's super good. Creating something that's actually providing value. Not promising that anybody's gonna get rich, but that extra revenue stream is sustainable. People can rely on it. That's a good aspiration for.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my last questions: are you doing anything on a personal level to better yourself every single day? Maybe that would translate over into being a better project lead or better coworker, whatever the case may be, to transition to a better business essentially.
Yes. This may turn some people off. It may not. I pray to Jesus Christ every single day. I thank my Lord and Savior for waking me up. I listening to inspirational videos, and I set out every day to just try to be the best man and father to my wife and my baby boy as I can. And I think that the fact that I put God first and focus on Him, I think that anything that I do and touch is going to be successful because He's got my back.
Gotcha. I like it. I think that a lot of people kind of miss out on that aspect of there's so much going on a personal level that affects what people actually see.
Yeah,
And I think that that's super crucial to do something like that. Focus on bettering yourself, focusing being a good husband, good father. Religion is important for many people out there as well, and I think that heavily correlates to them as people as well, whether you're
absolutely.
religious or not. Like I think that's something that's a universal truth that a lot of people can understand and acknowledge. So I like it.
Absolutely.
Austin says, "Love that, bro. Thanks for your time. Really impressed by this."
Thanks, Austin. I appreciate it.
Kurt, did you have any other questions to ask?
Not that I can think of. I've been thoroughly impressed by everything you guys are doing over there. So, yeah.
I love to hear it, man. That's why I work 18 hours a day because I want anybody to, when they look at us, to be impressed. So that's what we're striving for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other things that you'd like to add, or comments, or questions?
No. No, I don't. Other than if you're not invested in Serenity, give us a shot. I promise I'll do everything I can, and I'm not going to let you guys down. I'm going to work till my fingers bleed if I have to, but we're gonna get it done. So
Got it.
Got it. Yeah, we also got a giveaway to do. I think we got some tokens to give out. Is that correct?
yes, we do. Yes, we do. We got what, $300 in Pebble?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
super super generous. So I appreciate that. How would you like to do that? Would you like to do say $100 to 3 people with good questions, or that
Sure.
be a good way to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as Alex 444 is not one of the winners.
All right. Um,
That man has bled me dry since we started this protocol. He has won every single, like, except for one competition, giveaway, game. That dude has more Pebble than I have. So, I mean, he is relentless, man.
funny. I
Yeah.
think I had some good questions. He asked a lot of really good ones. I think Osaz had a couple really good ones as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, looking for one final winner. Would you like to pick that one, Kurt? I'll ask the
Man,
hard decision to you.
oh boy, thanks. I said I was gonna give it to Pi. Pi always asks like a plethora of great questions throughout this. I mean, we could. Zone 2 asked a fairly good one about the miner. I know he was a little blunt with it, but I thought it was a good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll do Zone 2.
All right. I will mark those guys down, and should I just collect wallet addresses and send them over to you?
Yeah, yeah, you can do that, or I can send you the Pebble, and you can, if you're going to collect the wallets, I'll just send it to you.
Okay, perfect. That works great. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to come
Yeah,
and talk to us. And especially to everybody listening in the audience. I say this every single AMA now, but like it could not be more true. The amount of time that you guys take out of your day to listen to what we have to say, like truly means the world to me. Taking valuable time out of your life. So I appreciate it. Of
absolutely, brother. I appreciate you having me.
course, you're welcome to come back anytime. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope everybody
Catch
has
you
a
guys later.
great rest of your day.
And don't forget, if you are in Cardinal Crew, we do the post AMA call.
Yes. Yes,
So
we do.
come and join us in there.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.